Hey everybody, Rich here from HFX Gaming Memories, and we are back with another episode of Cocktails and Game Pairing. As you can see by the way we're dressed, Rob and I are on vacation, but we wanted to do at least one video. So, before we get started, can you make sure that you share, like, subscribe, and leave some comments. I also want to say that I have not forgot the original concept of HFX Gaming Memories, which was about shared video game experience. Once summer is over, I am going to be getting back to doing a little bit more of those videos. They're just a little bit more labor intensive, and it's really hard for me to do being away in the summer so frequently. So, let's get started with a drink I made recently and I really enjoyed, and I can't wait for you to try it. So, we're going to start with a hurricane glass. Now, just a heads up, depending on what types of liquor you're using, you may need some food dyes in order to balance this out. Today, we are building a Joker drink because I am a Batman fanatic and have been looking for an excuse to make something fun and Batman related. So, start with the hurricane. We're going to start off with our shaker, and of course, fill it with ice. From here, we're going to add 3 ounces freshly squeezed lime, about 1/4 ounce blue curacao, 3/4 ounces limoncello, and now if you were to look in this, it's kind of a blue color, which is not what I want. Joker's green. So we're going to go for that Ace Chemicals Toxic. I'm going to add 2 drops just to see how that changes the color. Going to shake that up. And before you pour it, just have a look in, see if it's the color that you want. I think that looks pretty Jokerish. Here, we're going to fill it up with whatever club soda you want to use, or even just regular soda. I like my drinks a little sour, as you know, so we're actually just going to go with key lime. You see that's got a nice green toxic chemical color, and the more we dilute it, the greener it gets. Let's slow our pour down a little bit. Now the next step, you're going to want to use a violet gin. Now the stuff I use is actually quite clear, so what I've actually done is mix some food coloring in to get a purple. So what I've done is 2 drops of red to 1 drop of blue gives you a nice dark purple. And we're going to use our bar spoon, and we're going to slowly pour over the back of the bar spoon to try to get a nice level. It's a little bit easier if you have a real pouring device, which I'm making a mess, but that's okay, it's all fun. As you can see, we've got a nice dark purple layer, a little bit of green down below, but there's one more thing we're going to want to have, and that's our garnish. Look for a nice flower that shoots acid. I don't know if this one does, but just give that a little garnish on the top. And there you have the Joker. I really hope you enjoyed this drink. I love the look of it, I love the color, and the taste is phenomenal. But now we need to pair it with a video game. Well, I'm going to go with a game I've actually never played. Batman, Return of the Joker for the Nintendo Entertainment System. I'm going to clean up, and then I'll be right back to talk about this game. Alright, I've cleaned up, and as you saw, I had a few spills in that video, so there was a lot more to clean up than usual, but the drink is delicious, and I really hope you enjoy it. Now let's get down to talking about Batman, Return of the Joker. As I said, I've actually never played it before, so it was the first time I've ever done a video review on a game I had no idea about. So this is actually a 1991 sequel to the original Batman '89 movie game, which I kind of have a love-hate relationship with, as I think most people do. The truth is, I've always felt that game is phenomenal, but it feels like some sort of Ninja Gaiden hybrid. It doesn't actually feel like a Batman game, and I don't think I'm out of line for saying that. That being said, it's still a great game. This game is very similar in that it doesn't really feel like a Batman game other than Batman, the Joker, and at one point, a single shot of the Batwing. It really feels like you could swap out any other characters and just make this game. But nonetheless, it's a fun, yet challenging game. This plot is pretty standard comic book affair. The Joker has stolen some toxic materials with the intention of making missiles, and Batman has to stop him. That's all the plot is. There's no other Batman characters or villains in the game. The game has you playing over 7 different levels, and each level has a sub-level except the final level where you finally take on the Joker. The game to me really felt a lot like Mega Man, almost like a generic version of Mega Man. So there's a lot of similarities that I'm going to be talking about in this video. So let's begin. It's a run and gun game. Batman doesn't have all his tools, he just has a wrist projector that can shoot 4 different weapons. Now unlike Mega Man, these power-ups can actually be picked up in the level by breaking open these crates. What's interesting is, if you have a preference for a weapon, you actually just have to shoot the icon and it changes to the one you want. Unlike Contra, where you have to actually find, say, the spread gun, the laser gun, whatever you want. So you have that option. That being said, I only found one of the weapons was really that useful. So you do start out with the standard batarangs. You can hold down the B button in order to build up your power like Mega Man and shoot sort of this spread shot. My favorite weapon was the crossbow. This is just a large dart that when it hits an enemy explodes and it triangulates outwards, killing other enemies. The other weapons are the sonic neutralizers, which shoots kind of a crisscross pattern, and then you have this star gun that shoots in multiple directions. Again, they seem like they'd be really useful because they're shooting, they're heat seeking, but the damage they do is so minimal that it's not worth actually carrying. So I tried to stick with the crossbow most of the game. There was a few instances when I actually took on the bosses with just the batarangs, and it was tedious. I swear it was going to take 5 to 10 extra minutes just using this. Just look at this footage on how little damage it does. And now look at what it actually does when you use the crossbow. Huge difference in the damage it does. In addition to his batarangs and gadgets, Batman also has a slide, similar to Mega Man again. The game has some really interesting levels. The first level actually is the Cathedral, so this is a sign that it takes place right after the original Batman game or movie. Somehow the Joker has survived his fall, but they never explain that, but whatever, it's a comic book, that happens all the time. The jetpack level is really unique, but I feel they missed an opportunity to include the Batwing and some other helicopter-type Joker weapons, but what are you going to do? It was still interesting. It's really hard to describe the controls in this game. I felt they were smooth, but not perfect. Almost like if there was a scale of 10, it's an 8. It feels like Batman sometimes is really sluggish, and other times he moves quite well. The input lag just seemed to be noticeable enough to be annoying, especially if you got hit. There was a noticeable delay before you could actually get moving again. The game's difficulty is something that people speak about a lot, and I found the game very difficult. But unlike a lot of hard games, the more I died, the more I wanted to push on in this game because I knew I could defeat it. There definitely was some cheap deaths, such as getting hit and being knocked back and falling over edges. There's a lot of enemies that just appear out of nowhere, so you're walking along, suddenly you get struck and you're down. And then look at this tank level. As soon as the level starts, there is just things all over the screen, and that seems to be a frequent theme. There's multiple times when you're in a battle just trying to take out a boss, but there's so much stuff on the screen, it's hard to actually pay attention to everything that's killing you. Similar to Mega Man, there's a lot of interesting platforming that when you jump on a platform, it takes off and it drives you towards spikes, which, like Mega Man, cause instant deaths. It definitely was a challenge, and it really was hindered by the poor input controls. I died multiple times on this. The good news about this game, as hard as it is, it has unlimited continues and a very simplistic 4-letter password system. I cannot thank them enough for having such an easy system to work with, unlike games like Roger Rabbit where it's 20 letters. Even the Mega Man blue and red dot system was easy, but as a kid you had to have this grid all drawn out. Here, 4 simple letters allows you to skip to whatever level you want. The health bar in the game is in the top left-hand corner, and every time you take a hit, it goes down. It's represented by bars. However, when you take on the bosses, it actually is a score, which I thought was a really interesting take, because how many times do you get to a boss with 1 bar of health left, you get hit, and you have to go all the way back to the start? This almost feels like a versus mode, and the boss battles are hard. At first I just thought they were really generically cheap, but then I realized there actually is some strategy to it. So for instance, this boss, he's got a laser attack, and when it gets hit, boulders also shoot out. I couldn't figure out how to dodge these. Finally, by accident, I actually did the slide, which damages the boss, puts you behind him, and allows you to attack him from behind. Once I got that, it was fairly simple. When I took on the Joker for the first time, there's a lot of bubbles, and I realized it's easier just to wait until he stops moving before you shoot him, rather than actually try to combat him while he's attacking you. The game has 2 Joker battles. As I've already alluded to, you have the bubble one. Once you defeat that, he takes off in a helicopter, Dr. Wily style, and turns into what I can only describe as Mecha Joker. This final boss really felt very Contra-ish. There's 4 orbs that you actually have to take down, which then unveils the Joker. He has 2 types of attacks. One I call the Hurricane attack, where he shoots these blue things at you. It's pretty easy to pick up the pattern, jump over, go back in, aim up, and shoot him. The fire attacks are a little harder, and you have to anticipate when he's going to fire. The best strategy here is to stand to the left or right and shoot him twice, then slide in the opposite direction. This will give another opening for you to attack him. Again, I died multiple times in this boss, but it just made me want to fight him more and more and more. Then I learned how to beat him, and it was so much more enjoyable to play. So I can't stress enough that this is a difficult game, but you can get through it. After you've beaten the Joker, the island explodes, destroying the missiles or the toxic metals and possibly the Joker. You fly away in the Batwing, and it feels very much like the ending of Contra. So like I said, this game definitely has a lot of homage to Contra, to Mega Man, but it's still a great game. So, since I've never played this game before, I went in with kind of low expectations given my general feelings about the original Batman game. But the more I played it, the more frustrated I became, the more determined I became. I felt that the game was difficult, but there was a learning curve to it, and I ended up really enjoying this game. It's something I'll probably go back and try again, start to finish, when I have a little bit more time. So, make yourself a Joker drink, grab yourself Batman, Return of the Joker, and have yourself a good time. Until next time, drink and game responsibly. We'll see you soon. Just as a post scene, we're now on TikTok doing videos at Cocktails and Game Pairing. You can get us on Twitter at HFX Gaming Memory. If you have some stories, cocktails, games you want to see on the channel, you want to participate in it, I'd love to have audio clips of people's memories, photos, whatever you've got, send it to me at hfxgamingmemories@gmail.com. Hit me up in the comments, and we'll see you soon.